Hello, welcome back to English Tales with Emma. Today we are diving into an incredible story that will not only inspire you, but also keep you engaged till the very end. This is the story of a man whose ideas changed the world forever, Albert Einstein. His journey was filled with struggles, doubts, and moments of pure genius. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive deep into the life of this remarkable scientist. Albert Einstein was born on March 14th, 1879, in the small town of Ulm, Germany. His parents, Hermann Einstein and Pauline Koch, were simple people. Hermann was a businessman dealing with electrical equipment, while Pauline was a homemaker with a deep love for music and learning. When Albert was born, there was nothing extraordinary about him, except for one small detail. His head was unusually large. His family even joked about it, never realizing that this child would grow up to change the course of history. Albert was a quiet child. He didn't speak his first words until he was almost 3 years old. His parents were worried, and some people thought there might be something wrong with him. They even called him the quiet one, because he rarely spoke, even when other children were chattering around him. However, Albert wasn't quiet because he was slow. He was quiet because he was always thinking. He would sit for hours, observing the world around him, trying to understand how everything worked. When Albert was 5 years old, his father gave him a small gift that would change his life forever: a simple magnetic compass. At first, Albert didn't understand how it worked. How could the needle always point north, no matter how he turned it? He became obsessed with this tiny object. He stared at it for hours, trying to figure out the invisible force that guided the needle. This was the first time Albert realized that there were unseen forces in the world, and he wanted to discover them all. He later said that this experience left a deep and lasting impression on him. When Albert started school, things didn't go well. He didn't like the way his teachers taught. In those days, schools were very strict, and students were expected to memorize everything. But Albert wasn't interested in memorizing facts. He wanted to ask questions and find answers. His teachers often got frustrated with him. One teacher even told him, "You are a disgrace. You will never be successful in life." These words hurt Albert, but he didn't let them stop him. Albert struggled with some subjects, especially languages, but there was one subject he loved more than anything: mathematics. He called it the language of the universe and enjoyed solving problems like puzzles. His uncle Jacob also noticed his love for numbers and encouraged him to see math as a treasure hunt, where every problem was a clue leading to a solution. This playful approach made Albert fall in love with numbers even more. One day, while walking home from school, Albert asked himself, what would it be like to ride a beam of light? This question stayed with him for years. It was the beginning of his lifelong journey to understand light, space, and time. But life took a difficult turn when Albert was 15. His father's business failed, and the family had to move to Italy. Albert stayed behind in Germany to finish school, but he hated being away from his family. He felt lonely and unhappy. Eventually, he decided to leave school without finishing. Instead, he started studying on his own, reading books on science, philosophy, and mathematics. Many people thought he had ruined his future, but Albert didn't care. He believed that learning was more important than following rules. At 16, Albert wrote his first scientific paper. It wasn't perfect, but it showed his incredible potential. He applied to the Swiss Federal Polytechnic School in Zurich, but failed the entrance exam because he struggled with non-science subjects. Instead of giving up, he worked harder, improved his weak areas, and tried again. This time, he passed. But even at university, Albert was different. He often skipped lectures and studied on his own. While his classmates followed the curriculum, Albert spent his time thinking about deeper questions. What is light? How does time work? Why does gravity exist? These weren't ordinary questions, and most people didn't have answers for them. After graduating, Albert struggled to find a job. He finally got a position as a clerk at the Swiss Patent Office. It wasn't a glamorous job, but it gave him free time to think. He called the office his thinking lab. Then, in 1905, at the age of 26, Albert published a series of papers that would change the world forever. Scientists call this his miracle year, the photoelectric effect. He explained that light behaves like tiny particles called photons. This discovery later won him the Nobel Prize. Brownian motion. He proved the existence of atoms, which was groundbreaking at the time. Special theory of relativity. He introduced the idea that time and space are relative, not absolute. From this theory came the famous equation E equals mc squared, showing that energy and matter are interchangeable. These papers shocked the scientific community. Albert Einstein, a humble clerk with no university position, had just revolutionized physics. By 1919, Albert's theories were tested and confirmed, making him a global icon. Newspapers around the world printed headlines like, "Einstein's theory proven true." He became the most famous scientist in the world. However, fame brought challenges. The rise of the Nazis in Germany forced him to flee to the United States. He joined Princeton University, where he continued his work. During World War II, he signed a letter urging the US to develop an atomic bomb before Nazi Germany. When the bomb was used, Albert was deeply troubled and spent the rest of his life advocating for peace. Even in his later years, Albert remained curious. He continued asking questions about the universe, from black holes to time travel. He lived a simple life, refusing luxury and fame. On April 18, 1955, Albert Einstein passed away at the age of 76. Albert Einstein's journey from a struggling student to a world-renowned scientist teaches us valuable lessons. Never give up on your curiosity. Failure is just a step towards success. Believe in yourself, even when others doubt you. Dream big and work hard to achieve it. His story proves that greatness isn't about being perfect. It's about being passionate, persistent, and unafraid to challenge the impossible. As Albert himself once said, "Try not to become a person of success, but rather try to become a person of value." And with that, we end the incredible journey of Albert Einstein. His ideas continue to inspire scientists, dreamers, and thinkers around the world. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep dreaming. If you like this journey of Albert Einstein's, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel.